Joining us. My name is Asher Cowan. I'm here with my daughter and co-star Amia, and we are going to be cooking salmon today. So this is the Wednesday meal from our meal plan that we sent out last week. I believe it's the Wednesday meal, and it is glazed salmon with Carolina gold rice, and we're going to add some broccoli to the mix as well. And let's get started. So if you're new to us, what we do is we send out a meal plan every week on Thursdays to everyone on our email list. You get a shopping guide plus 6 recipes, 6 dinner recipes for the following week. So you have everything that you need to do to execute on a weekly meal plan right in front of you. You get all your shopping list. All the here is I demonstrate one of the meals. So today we're making the glazed salmon with Carolina gold rice. We got our rice started right here, and I will be monitoring the chat on Instagram. That's at Dr. Cowan's Powder. So let me jump in right there. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat, and we'll get started. So I got my pan going here. We're gonna let it heat up a little bit more. Turn that up. And we got our rice going here. And we're also gonna make steamed broccoli. So Amia, can you wash the broccoli for me? Push that over there. And olive oil. So thanks again for joining us, everybody. We are live on Facebook. That's Dr. Cowan's Garden on Facebook, and we're live on Instagram. That's at Dr. Cowan's Powders. To sign up for our mailing list so you can get these meal plans sent to your inbox every week, every Thursday, go to drcowansgarden.com, sign up for our newsletter, and you'll be in. And it's a great way to basically, go about cooking your dinners. We know a lot of people do meal planning and sort of prep their meals in advance. And this is a way to give you everything that you need to accomplish your meals for the week. And everything's right in front of you. You have the ingredients plus the recipes all there right for you. So thanks again for joining. Again, my name is Asher Cowan. I'm the CEO of Dr. Cowan's Garden. And I'm demonstrating the glazed salmon from the meal plan that we sent out last Thursday. So get our oil in the pan. Get it all over. Thank you for watching those. And again, I am joined by my co-star and daughter, Amia. She is 6 years old and she is learning how to cook. So we are super excited about this, and she's super excited to help us out here in the kitchen. Do you want to tell them your favorite food?
Not again.
Not again? Oh, okay. How about your favorite powder?
Again.
Not again? Okay. Well, we are going to get going with this salmon in the pan. I like to put a little bit of pepper and salt here. Now the recipe says to put the skin side down at first. I actually like to put the flesh side down. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. Joe, don't hold that against me. I like to do flesh side down, get some griddle marks on the flesh, and then I find that it's easier to flip and keep everything intact when you do the flesh side down first. So we're gonna get those in. Get that going. Now what we're also going to do is we're going to get our broccoli steaming. So I'm going to turn on the pan and chop up our broccoli. One thing that you'll also notice is, and what I try to do here is keep these nice and short. And hopefully what that does is it shows, you know, sort of how quick and easy these meals are. And we're not trying to reinvent the wheel by going crazy and giving, you know, people super difficult recipes to create. They are nice family-friendly recipes for you and your family. Just about anyone should like them, and yeah. So what kind of salt do you use? That's a good question. And salt is very important. And I know there's a lot of people who, you know, maybe their doctor tells them to cut the salt out of the diet, but salt is actually a really important thing to include in your diet, as long as it's the right salt. And so a very wise, especially about food, person told me one time that if you're going to spend money on one thing, and one thing alone, make it salt. And so what I use is Celtic sea salt, and I think that's the best salt. It has all the minerals and everything in it. It's not bleached or anything like that, like you'll find in normal table salt, and it's also really good. Sometimes you might find that you might need a little bit more salt than a typical recipe calls for, and that's okay. So, we got our salmon going here. We're going to give it another minute on this side, and then we'll get to flipping it. Let's get another flip. So again, I am monitoring the chat on Instagram. That's at Dr. Cowan's Powders. So if you have any questions, please drop them in there. Now I'm going to mince up the garlic because this is going to go into the sauce that we created. And salmon is a nice, quick, easy protein to cook. Doesn't take too long, maybe 10 or so minutes, and it's done pretty quickly. And you don't want your salmon to be overdone because it can dry out pretty easily. I would err on the side of more rare than more well done. Let's see what we have. What powders are you going to use in the meal today? So we're using our 3 beet powder. It's going to add a nice sweetness at the end. It's going to pair well with our sauce, sort of a sweet and salty sauce with the soy sauce and maple syrup, along with the sherry wine. All right, let's see if these are ready to flip. Yes, they are. They got some nice brittle marks on them. Make sure that I can there we go. And that's why I like to do flesh side down at first. Make sure it separates from the pan, because salmon will break apart pretty easily. So you want to make sure that it's separated from the pan. And there we go. Alright. When cooking with powders, when is the best time to add them? So that's a really good question, and I generally add them towards the end. It depends on the powder, depends on what you're making, but I think you're better off adding them towards the end of cooking. The reason why you do that is A, for the flavor, but B, mostly for the nutrition. And so the less time you cook them, the less nutrition is going to cook off and the more nutrition is left in the powder. So I add them to the end, and in this meal you're going to see I add the 3-beet powder towards the end of the meal, almost like a garnish. So a good way to think of them is like a seasoning or a spice, and a lot of times you're adding those towards the end of meals. Check on our rice real quick. That's coming along nicely. The rice, we're just bringing the water to a boil, reducing the heat to low, and then leaving covered throughout the time of cooking. The other thing that I do is I add some, in this case, butter, sometimes olive oil to the pan. And what that'll do is it'll sort of seep down to the bottom of the pan and then create a nice crispy layer on the bottom that's also really nice. All right. Just a couple more minutes on the salmon and then we're going to make the sauce. The sauce is going to be made out of garlic, lemon juice, soy sauce, and maple syrup, and this wine right here. It's kind of like a sherry marsala wine. I don't even know what this is. Should be good. You want to tell everyone what your favorite part of cooking is? Is it eating? That's my favorite part. Too many choices. That's right. There's too many things that you can make to really have one favorite. I get totally what you're saying. My favorite part is the eating part. All right. I'm going to take a little peek on the inside. And this is almost done. We're going to reduce the heat a little bit. And broccoli's boiling. So this is going to be a nice, quick, easy dinner. One, got the skin on here. And maybe that's why you put the skin side down first, or second, first. And there's two. And let's get this scoop off. Here. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to deglaze the pan with a little bit of the wine. And so this is us sort of picking the flavor up that was stuck to the bottom of the pan. Are we getting our flame? No, we're not getting our flame. How do you sign for the weekly emails? Good question. So that's, go to drcallensgarden.com and anywhere to sign up for the newsletter. There's multiple different places to do that on this site. You can also see past meal plans that we've done, so you can see what you're signing up for. And it's a great way to sort of take some of the burden off you in your meal prep and cooking, and let us do it for you. So We're hoping that it adds a lot of value to people's lives and sort of takes some of the stress off of that. So thanks again for joining us today. Again, my name is Asher Cowan, CEO of Dr. Cowan's Garden. We are cooking our Wednesday meal plan from last week. It is a glazed salmon. We're going to cook this sauce down, reduce it a little bit, make it a little bit more thick. Before we top our salmon with it. So it's going to be a little bit sweet, a little bit salty, and a little bit sour with the lemon. What I'm doing here is I'm squeezing the lemon juice into my hand so that I catch the seeds, but let the juice go into the pan. See? Seeds. There we go. Dr. Cowan's Garden on Facebook, Dr. Cowan's Powders on Instagram. I'm monitoring the chat on Instagram, so if you want to ask a question or tell us how great of a job we're doing, please do so in the comments section on Instagram. Or how cute my dog is. Right? Alright, so this is going to be the garnish at the end, so let's chop this up. Alright, so we got our sauce. We're also going to garnish with a little bit of avocado. That goes great with salmon. I'll show you a trick for cutting avocados. So you cut them in half like this, twist it like that. Now to get the seed out, you want to know how to do that? Take it near where the butt of the knife is, right like that. Twist, and then push it off, right like that. And then I'm going to cut it like this. Peel the skin. And then we can cut it into slices. So our sauce is done right now. Nice and thick. Alcohol is cooked off. Rice looks done. Let's take that, put it down for a second. Get our plate. Got that. Get some salmon. Avocados, scallions, a little bit of this sauce, some beet powder. Now I don't really like to measure, so this is me. If you want to measure, you can follow the recipe, but I like to just sprinkle on like this. And then add a few pieces of broccoli. broccoli. That's one of your favorites, right? Turn that off.
Roasted.
Roasted broccoli, right? I didn't roast it for you. Sorry about that. Add some butter to our steamed broccoli. Emil likes it roasted better. And that's okay. Sometimes do that. A little bit of salt on our broccoli, and there we go. All right, that looks like we're done. So thanks again for joining us, everybody. My name is Asher Cowan, CEO of Dr. Cowan's Garden, and in true fashion, she is off with the plate before we sign off. But thanks again for joining us. And as you can see, your kids will love these meals just like mine. And please sign up for our mailing list, drcowansgarden.com. You'll get these meal plans delivered to your inbox every Thursdays. Gives you a chance to go shopping, do any prep work that you might need to do, and then the meals start on Sunday, they go through the following Friday. Have everything you need for a delicious, nutritious, healthy meal for you and your family. And thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.